Well, good evening out there. How are you all doing? It is a beautiful and wonderful new year now. And to celebrate the new year of 2022, we have a threesome. Yes, it's a threesome with Janelle. I am your host, Kat Rocha, the night editor, and with me is.
J.Ishiro, author and alien in a human suit.
And of course, the lady of the hour, Janelle.
Mom and pop culture ranter, and I still can't do a sexy voice. I just can't.
That's okay.
Well, before we get started, today's show is brought to you by BARBWIRE Cult T-shirts, the makers of the Unwanted Baby Dinner of the People shirt,
I've never
available
seen
now.
that before.
Comrade Stalin says yum. Link in the description.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to show the honest truth of communism, get your own Unwanted Baby shirt, Dinner of the People.
I'm surprised they didn't replace his face with what's that guy? Albert Fish?
Oh, shit.
Wasn't he called the Brooklyn Vampire or something? For eating children?
Oh, wow.
No, this was what I saw was I was going through our metrics and found that the anti-communist stuff is selling the best right now. Mm-hmm. So I'm deciding to make more.
It's good shit. Like I saw that, I started laughing because I have such a sick sense of humor.
Well, the modest proposal is the way of the people now.
Yeah.
Retneck, I can see the same shirt with Mao saying "taste like dog."
Oh my god, please make that shirt.
Okay. I'll see if I can't find a good propaganda poster to use.
Call it Meow Mix.
Oh man, we're on a roll already. This is great.
Oh yeah.
Well, the nice thing about communist propaganda posters is they're communists. They don't believe in property.
No.
They're not copyrighted.
They belong to everybody.
Yeah, they belong to the people.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, again, link in the description if you want your own Unwanted Baby Dinner of the People shirt.
Yes.
In the meantime, what are we talking about? There's plenty of things to bring up today. Raped Superman, Jack Murphy's own butt raping.
Okay, again, I've been living under a rock forever, apparently. I have no idea who this Jack Murphy guy is or, why he's, cucking.
I didn't know anything about him, too, until I saw him flip out. I think that's going to be what makes him known now, is the dude who flipped out about getting cucked.
Apparently, he's some dude that's, he ran around with Cernovich and Psobic. And that's how he got on Tim Pool's radar. And then Tim Pool, was like, let's have you on every other Wednesday. And, he was doing his whole manosphere thing. And it just turned out to be a total lie, apparently.
It's the new sitcom, The Cuckold and the Chicken Lover.
Oh, shit.
It's the new Odd Couple. But okay, so he just flipped out because he's trying to be a manly man, and in the past he liked to watch his woman get banged by a better man and cry.
That wasn't the only thing, though. He stuck dildos up his ass and did homemade porn that they would live stream.
Oh, God.
I mean, the guy is such a fucking fake. And I never paid attention to him. I was just like, okay, this is a bearded guy who, likes the smell of his own farts. Big deal. No, he's like, he also said he was Irish, but apparently he's Jewish. So.
Oh my God. Okay.
Like, I had a lot of time to spend on Reddit this weekend. Like, I could have been doing other things like, checking on my homebrews and stuff. And instead, it was like, grab a tub of popcorn. This is fucking great. And yeah, that's how I found out about all this stuff. Because usually I didn't, I stopped listening to Tim Pool a long time ago. And yeah, so I didn't know much about this guy.
So I didn't
So
realize he'd become a regular with Tim, but I'm kind of not surprised.
yeah, they were called Murphy Wednesdays. So every other Wednesday, Jack Murphy would be on.
Tim likes hanger-ons, I've noticed.
Yeah, he likes a lot of people who feed his ego. I mean, that's what's happened with Ian Crossland. It's really sad how he's taken advantage of Ian Crossland. I mean, he couldn't get his company started up without Ian Crossland because he was the co-founder of Minds.
Really?
Yeah, the burnout hippie actually is a multimillionaire too.
That's pretty in keeping.
Yeah, and then his producer Lydia is just a yes woman. She agrees with everything he says.
Is that his girlfriend?
He says he's got a girlfriend,
But we never
but
see her?
yeah, so I don't know. And Lydia's apparently married, so um so yeah, that's as much as I know. I just know that this Jack Murphy thing is now dragging down Tim Pool and Mike Cernovich and Jack Posobiec. And oh my God, you guys are going to love this. Because of all this, people like to dig. And they found out that Chelsea Manning is also friends with them and was actually running around with them and Cassandra Fairbanks.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And then what's her name? Chelsea Manning said that she was taken in and did not understand that she was running around with far-right extremists. There's actually a picture of all 5 of them at some sort of event where they go, what are those things where people go into escape rooms? They were in an escape room. They were all on a team together. So yeah, Chelsea Manning also ran around with them.
Wow. Oh, Ishi's looking this up.
I gotta see this. His name's really Jack Goldman?
Yes! No, John Goldman. John Goldman. His pen name is Jack Murphy.
Wow.
Hey, look, don't dirty the Irish name. We did nothing to you, man. We got enough shit on our plate.
I take umbrage with that because living in San Diego all my life in San Diego County, Qualcomm was originally Jack Murphy Stadium. So he's tarnishing the name of a great man.
Oh. Okay, we found these escape room
I think we
pictures.
found. Is it the escape room pictures?
Yes. He still has hair in them too, but yeah.
Oh boy. Well then. Who's in the space helmet? Do you know?
I don't know.
Whatever.
Wow.
And he's a Canadian.
Oh shit, I did not know that. Asshole said
gosh.
that he's been living in DC all his life.
No.
Total phony then. Okay.
No, he doesn't seem hardcore enough to be living in DC.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
I'm not hardcore enough.
He's got the sexual fetishes to live in DC.
Wonder if he likes pizza places.
He probably does. On one of his blogs or articles, he talked about how fucking 15-year-old girls should be totally allowed.
Wonderful.
Yes. I feel sorry for his teenage boys. All this shit coming out right now and they're in high school.
Like no.
I do feel sorry for his kids. I really do, because they've been around that deviant behavior. Now it's all coming out and kids are mean.
Well, the question is he going to a DC school, a private school, or a Hebrew school? Because each has their own landmine.
Right?
Yeah.
I think they go to a private school, but I'm not sure.
Okay, so he'll get laughed at a lot, but he won't get his ass kicked.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. It depends on which private school and if you're in Virginia or if you're in Maryland. That's different. Anyway, Redneck. The last irony regarding Tim and chickens is the fact that my own political takes with people. Antifa's political mascot is a chicken. Mobs that pick on the weakest until their victims fight back.
Yeah.
I did not know their political mascot was a chicken, but that makes so much sense.
You are a brave man, JC. That or just really sick.
Oh, JEC. Oh, did you at least get some good eye bleach afterwards? I couldn't do it, man. Like, I was tempted and I was like, no, I do not need that scarification in my brain.
No, thank you.
Wait, go down further. JEC says he literally has no balls. I think it's because he does steroids. Jesus.
Oh my God.
Oh, no.
This guy is really overcompensating, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, apparently it's manly to let another man rail your girl.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I was going to say, most of the time, if another guy is railing your girl, you're probably going to want to kill them or just beat them within an inch of their life before dumping said girl.
I mean, there are those people who can be in polyamorous relationships. There are swingers. There are, I mean, there's tons of permutations, but cuckolding is specifically about making one man feel inferior in multiple ways.
Like, I cannot understand the fetish of cuckolding. I truly cannot. Like, you really want to feel that humiliated and low? That really gets your dick hard? I don't understand. Like, there's something that you need some mental help, honestly.
Yeah. There's something there.
Yeah, that's kind of lower than the humiliation about wanting to be trapped in a woman's shoe eating her toe jam.
Well, at least then it's you and her in a unique relationship that only the two of you can provide to each other.
I used to think that was the lowest, but
well, the sad thing about this Jack Murphy thing is he admitted that his girlfriend didn't like doing this, but he made her do it. He also pissed on her face.
What?
Yeah, the guy is fucking sick. Like, I'm sorry. There's kink, and then there's you're a sick human being. So he bragged about how he would tell his girlfriend that he's picked out somebody, you need to go fuck them, and she would be like, I really am uncomfortable about this.
And yet he basically makes her do it anyway.
Yeah, so I mean, his whole manly man thing is I tell my woman to go fuck other men even though she doesn't want to, and I piss on her face. But that's okay because I let her shove a dildo up my ass on live stream.
Are we sure he's not like into men and his only way of being able to express it is to say, oh no, it's my girlfriend who's fucking them, not me?
That's what a lot of people have said because he said he's hetero malleable. He's okay with fucking men.
So
but he's not into them.
bisexual.
Yeah. Just come out and say it.
Like, look, dude, I know it's an old cliche, but sometimes you feel like a nut and sometimes you don't, it's not a big deal. It's the abuse part that's like, if she's into it too, okay, great. But, that's wrong, dude.
Yeah, he's a sick human being, and he's a fake, and he was very smart. He was able to take a lot of people in. He also was a part of a sham high school or something in DC that would sell their services to other high schools. So he's been doing this con game for a while.
Okay, so a perverted con artist who likes ripping off high schools and forcing his woman to take other men's dicks. Can this become any more of a really bad leftist stereotype?
Yeah, he really is. He truly is a leftist. I mean, he made people think that he had changed because he wrote Democrat to Deplorable, and I guess it was a bestseller somewhere. But he jumped on the walk away movement, and that I think is what put him on Tim Pool's radar.
Oh.
Because Tim Pool, he's part of the walk away movement too, and he really encouraged the walk away movement. And that's, I think, how he found Jack Murphy. And it helped that Jack Murphy, like I said, was friends with Cassandra Fairbanks, Mike Cernovich, and Jack Posobiec.
Well,
and Chelsea Manning.
It kind of makes me wonder just how much he fakes. I mean, I know that Cernovich is pretty much full of shit as well, kind of a bro.
Yeah, and Posobiec, his stories and stuff are too good to be true, in my opinion. Like, for some reason, he's done everything in the CIA. I was like, you're starting to sound like Tom King.
Well, okay, CIA, trained liars.
Yeah.
Lying.
I mean, I will say Jack Posobiec speaks fluent Mandarin, so I'm not surprised that he was in China for a while. That makes total sense. But like other things, just I'm like, nah, dude, you've got to be lying or you're embellishing. Like when Tom King posted that picture of himself in Afghanistan with a assault rifle. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
Saying this proves that I was in the CIA. I'm like, bro, it looks like you're in training. You're probably never going to use a gun.
Jeez.
Oh yeah.
So that's all I know about Jack Murphy. Do you guys want to switch gears to the Superman prison rape? I want to see everybody go off about this.
Oh my God. I'm just, it should be to the point now with DC that I shouldn't be surprised by them doing anything. But I'll admit, when you brought it up earlier, I'm like, they did what? It's like, I have questions.
Well, honestly, I think it's just they are trying to tear that character down because he is the epitome of truth, justice, and the American way. He always has been. And they fucking hate him. Pardon?
And he's a symbol of virtue.
Yes. In fact, they used to say it in the comic books a lot. He's more human than most humans on Earth. I mean, that was what was so amazing about him. Like, he was Kryptonian in physiology only. He considered himself Earthling, a human. And that's one thing that was so awesome about Superman. And I said it a zillion times on the show before. When they undid the New 52 by bringing back Lois and Clark, and this time they had a child, that was considered one of the best runs of Superman. The comics were selling like hotcakes because you were finally seeing Superman as Superman should have always been, a family man, a good father, a wonderful husband, and still a great superhero who wanted to teach his son everything correct. And even he didn't talk about Jor-El that much. He talked about Jonathan Kent. And that's who they named their kid after, Jonathan Kent. It just, I hate the people who are writing at DC right now because of their absolute irrational hatred of Superman and trying to destroy everything from an amazing character. And a lot of people think the character is boring. I get that. He's not Batman. He's not Wonder Woman. He's not the Flash. But I like the fact he's a boring character. That is what makes him so good.
Well, he's a good supporting character is what he is.
Yes.
You have him play off other characters.
I always liked his banter with Bruce Wayne. Like, it's hysterical watching the two of them talk. Because you can tell that they're good friends, but they definitely have different opinions about things, including how they raise their kids. And that's something I always like too, is watching Jonathan Kent and Damian Wayne be reflections of their parents in the most hysterical way.
I never read these, so I don't know anything about them.
I highly recommend getting Super Sons. It's really good. I mean, you have to understand it's coming from the viewpoint of a 10-year-old and a 13-year-old. But it's a 10-year-old and a 13-year-old that are the miniature versions of their fathers. And it's wonderful to watch. I will say it's wholesome. And wholesome is something that has been missing from mainstream comics for a long time.
Yeah.
And my son, he read Super Sons. He's not really into comics, but he did like Super Sons. He adored Jonathan Kent and said that Damian Wayne was a butthole.
Well, from everything that I had read, they portrayed Damian as a little shit, and I thought that was the most appropriate thing.
Yes, that was what was. They did not shy away from him being the son of Talia al Ghul and the grandson of Ra's al Ghul. Like, that was brilliant. He had that arrogance, and you can just see Alfred and Bruce just like, oh my God, Damian, shut up! Please, just shut up.
Yeah.
Like, stop it. And
wow.
So, yeah, Damian is a little shit, and you love him for it. Like, if they would have written him any other way, I would have been like, okay, so we've got another, either, Edge Boy, what's his name? Red
Dick
Hood.
Grayson.
Jason.
Yeah, Jason.
Or you've got perfect white bread, Midwestern boy Dick Grayson, or, I don't know how you would describe Tim Drake. Nerdy, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really pay attention to the spoiler. She was the fourth Robin. Anyway, she was a girl, whatever.
Okay, so I like this comment.
Marty says the Superman prison rape scene is basically someone reliving their yaoi kink.
Yes, it's fan fiction. It reads like fucking fan fiction.
And again, how do prisoners not notice his buns of steel? Right.
Well, that's the thing. It's supposed to be like, I guess he had the willpower to not have his Kryptonian physiology or some shit. Like I said to you guys earlier before we were on the show, if they tried to ram something up his butt, it would have shattered immediately, just pressing on it. So
the only thing that I can see is he like keistered some kryptonite before going in there, and he just has it like shoved way the fuck up there so that he's like just enough human to pass.
He used a Kryptonian suppository.
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay, so another comment.
JW, what do you make of the theory that DC is doing this to Superman as part of their copyright war with the Siegel-Schuster estates?
Anything is possible since it's Hollywood.
Yeah,
seriously,
really
anything is possible. There is no low that the Hollywood set won't sink to. Just remember Santa Inc. They'll do anything if they think it'll screw someone else or get them ahead. This, and then I've got a meme to go with it. I just had to do this meme.
Mecha Gaijin, Jack Murphy is a disgusting fraud, and Tim Pool should be ashamed for platforming the guy the way he did.
Okay, somebody needs, since I haven't been paying attention to Tim Pool for a while, what is this chicken fucking thing?
Oh, Tim Pool on his compound has decided that he's going to raise chickens and survive the apocalypse that way.
Oh, okay. You're talking about Chicken City.
Yeah.
And he will not shut up about how, he doesn't worry about the end of the world because he's got his compound and his chickens.
Dude, he's going
to have eggs and chicken.
To die. I'm sorry.
And every time you hear about this chicken farm of his, he's doing everything wrong. But
yeah.
And he's got this bizarre obsession with the chickens. It's like, shut the fuck up about your chickens. Nobody cares.
The fact that he wanted to like make a reality TV show around them and like people would be like Team Chicken.
And he keeps talking about them like they're complex people. And Camilla did this today. It's like, I don't care.
Did he really name a chicken Camilla?
Yes, he did.
Oh, fuck me. Okay.
And then so-and-so had to be voted out of the city. I was like,
does that mean that you ate her then? If they're voted off the island, does that mean he ate them?
That's a good question.
Probably.
I keep trying to think if I can do like a video. I'm not sure how to splice it together yet, where I could like use found footage, or I'm like Tim Pool's Chicken Thunderdome or something, or the Chicken Apocalypse.
You can use some of Danny Elfman's found footage. Haven't you seen when quarantine first started? He said he got quarantined in the chicken coop, and he collects all these bizarre chickens, and he's named all of them weird names. And he was being Danny Elfman about it. That was what was so great.
Wow.
Yeah, so he did this like It was for 2 or 3 weeks, but he did like these little, 1-minute stints of here's day whatever in the chicken coop where he's been exiled for having COVID.
Shit.
Let's do this one first and then the next one.
Chicken City, a gated compound with cameras watching those birds every second. I'm insinuating that Chicken City is a Chinese gulag.
Or do you mean a North Korean gulag?
Yeah. Well, okay. Does it get thanked by Disney?
That's a good question.
Well, Marty, Tim Pool is becoming like the crazy cat lady off The Simpsons, except with chickens.
Yeah,
God, it's true.
You could also, I suppose, change it to the Tim Pool Failed Survivalist channel.
Okay, let's go into survivalism for a little bit, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Because you guys, in my opinion, are better equipped than I am. I've been a city slicker for most of my life. I freely admit, like I said, I lived in the city of San Diego.
I've always lived in the city.
Yeah, but you see, it's something about your brain, Ishi. Like, I think that you would go full survivalist mode if some sort of cataclysm happened and you would make it out okay. Same thing with Kat. Like, I have no situational awareness whatsoever. The only thing I can bring to a table is that I know how to make alcohol. So I can make alcohol to trade for supplies.
That's an important skill. That is one I do not have.
I can teach it to you.
I would love that.
Gladly, because you had talked about sake before, and I do have recipes for sake. How to make your own rice wine.
Oh, that's deadly.
Yeah, but
a lot of work.
I would love to drink that with you guys. Oh my God. Make your own sake homebrew and just sit and hang out and drink and bitch about pop culture. That would be a dream.
That'd be some amazing moonshine, man.
But like, I have no experience with guns, and I don't know if I told you guys my gun story. Why I'm very much 2A, never take away anybody's guns, but I am completely terrified of them. Long story short, I saw the aftermath of a friend of mine getting shot 12 hours after he was shot. And it was the most devastating. It really opened my eyes to how deadly guns are.
What happened?
And a friend of mine, the same guy who we went on his father's property when we were shrooming, he got off work and went to a friend's house, and he was sleeping in the chair, and his friend got drunk and busted out his gun and started swinging it around like the 6-shooter guys would in the old cowboy movies. And he did not check the gun. There was one in the breech, and it went off, and it shot my friend through the back of his neck, out through his jaw, and severed his spinal cord, making him paralyzed from there down.
Oh,
wait. So he didn't check the gun. What did he do? Did he pull the trigger or what?
He was swinging it around without the safety on. You know how those guys do the trick guns and they'll swing them around this way and that?
Yeah.
And that's what he did. And there was, like I said, one in the breech, and he fired.
Okay, first rule, never, ever, ever handle a gun without first checking to see if it's loaded. And that includes taking the clip out or magazine or clip out and then pulling back the breech to make sure that there's nothing in there.
Yeah.
Always assume. And second, don't point the barrel at anything alive, ever, unless you mean to kill them.
Yeah, my friend just was, he got off work and he was tired and he crashed in the easy chair, while everybody else was partying. And when he woke up, he was paralyzed from the waist down. And
actually on air right now.
Cat left the room, don't worry.
Okay. What I saw was the most terrifying thing I've ever seen. His eyes were bulging out of his head from brain swelling. He was constantly gurgling because he couldn't breathe on his own anymore. So he was just, tubes were coming out of his nose, his mouth.
Oh, Jesus.
And like I said, this was 12 hours after he was shot. I was, me and, don't laugh, but I'm just trying to cover his name. Piss Jesus was the one that called me and told me. So I swung over to his place because I had a car. He called me at like 6 o'clock in the morning. And I swung over to his place, picked him up, and we went to the hospital. And his ex-girlfriend was there, and they broke up on good terms. She left for college in Flagstaff, and I just couldn't look away from him, and I was in shock, and I eventually just walked out of the room, and I couldn't even burst into tears. I was so numb. And like I said, I am a huge advocate of 2A. I will never say get rid of your guns, and I will never say gun control. My biggest thing is idiots with guns, but just that scene always comes back into my brain. And here's the thing, people, just let you know, I want to learn to shoot a gun. I'm just waiting for my sister-in-law's husband, I told you, was a former Marine sniper. So I'm just waiting for a time that he's not wiped out from work where we can go to a gun range, because he said he'll teach me. He builds the guns for my sister-in-law and his kids.
Oh,
So, I
wow.
mean, yeah. But just that I just have that fear. And I know once I get a gun in my hand and, learn what to do. The first, I know this, even though I have never shot a gun, what you just said, the first rule is always check to see if it's loaded. And the second rule is always assume, no matter what, even though you checked, that it's still loaded.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I haven't done a lot of research, but I have done my research because, just seeing that my friend was only 19 years old, and we lost track of him because his parents had to put him into a caregiving center because they couldn't afford to take care of him anymore. And we all just lost track of it. It killed us because we wanted to go see him. He was a good guy. But we lost him, and I don't think he lived very long after that. I don't think you can live a long time after having that kind of injury,
Yeah.
not be able to breathe on your own, feeding tubes. So, yes, that's why I don't think I would do good in a survivalist situation, is because I don't know how to use a gun. I can use staffs and sticks, and I'm going to be learning how to use a sword. But that, never bring a sword to a gunfight.
Well, here's my take on firearms. 2 weeks after graduating high school, I get assaulted. I nearly die. Bullet goes through my back, breaks my floater rib, gets lodged in my intestines. I spend, I don't remember how many hours in surgery, and I wasn't really fully aware for about 2 days. I mean, I'd go in and out of awareness, and when I was aware, it was nothing but sheer pain, and it was a pain that is almost indescribable, because there's the pain that we're used to, and then there's the pain of having someone dig around inside your body. And that was incredible. That was actually worse than getting shot. So for a very long time, yeah, I did not like firearms. I stayed the hell away from firearms. I was very uncomfortable around them. And then I think on our wedding, we went to a range in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And it was because it was something we wanted to do. And I was extremely nervous. But then I suddenly realized, no, this is exactly what I needed to be doing. And the reason being is, over time, I became comfortable. It no longer became this scary foreign thing. It had rules that long as you followed them, you were okay. And it stopped being such a spectacle or a specter over me that frightened me, and it just became an object. And you have to treat it with respect. You can't. It's not a toy, which is, I think, the problem a lot of people make.
Mm-hmm.
And in time, that was pretty much what allowed me to get over the horrible reactions I had to exploding sounds, in moderation. I'll say that I can deal with it now, but I would have to say New Year's, that was a different story, because it was explosions from roughly 4 o'clock till 2 in the morning, nonstop.
Ugh.
That I didn't deal well with. Actually, I'm glad I got drunk. I don't know how else I would have managed, because I slept through a lot of it. I was drunk enough not to care. But I will say, even then, I woke up at around 2 in the morning when something blew up over our house really loudly, and no, that wasn't good. But yeah, that was my take, was learning that, overcoming the fear by handling the firearm, learning to use it, learning that it isn't this thing that's just going to bite you.
Mm-hmm.
And it really is it's when it's in responsible hands. It's that simple.
I think that's just the hurdle I need to get over, because logically, I know it's not the weapon, it's the person using the weapon. They're either they know what they're doing or they're a fucking idiot. And of course, in the news, you always hear about the fucking idiots. And I do think, in fact, it was talking to you about this before Ishi is what encouraged me. I think once I am taken out to a range and I learn about it, I will probably start feeling better about it. It's just whenever I think about it, just that image of my friend like pops right to the forefront, and I get scared. But like I said, logically I know it's the person, not the weapon. And you have to learn how to use it correctly. And I just derailed us off of survival techniques talking about my gun phobia. Like I said, I am not against them. I think it's rad that our country allows us to own guns and you can't take them away. And if you try, you just fucking shoot them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I love that. Yeah, I need to get myself over that hurdle. And I think once I do it, I will be okay. Because here's the thing. I don't know if there's any people who are animal lovers out there, and you're probably going to hate me. I want to go hunting. I actually want to go out and go hunting sometime.
I'm in the same boat. I feel, I would like to kill my own chicken, and possibly, kill something larger, simply because I feel I'm a meat eater. I should do it at least once in my life.
Absolutely. You can do it too with a bow because you have that skill.
Mm-hmm.
That would be, oh my gosh, if you do that, please take pictures. I will fangirl over that.
Totally. I'm not quite there yet with my bow, where I'm still killing paper right now. But
you're still building up the arm strength.
Yeah, I'm still building up the arm strength. The 40 pound pull is still just a little too much for me, but I'm getting there. Getting better. Not
And
killing my fence.
I did see what Unqualified said. Yeah, I know. Our state used to be like the greatest state to be in like 50 years ago. And now like we're the exact opposite.
Well, when you come out to visit, we'll have to take you to the range. And
yeah.
I'll admit, for me, same thing. I firmly, Second Amendment, but guns weren't for me for the longest time. And I realized the reason why is I'm a 90s kid. I am so used to watching movies and cartoons and after school specials where you just breathe on a gun and it goes off and it happens to hit like the nearest person to you. And so as such, I had, I didn't like automatics. But oh man, I love revolvers, because there's nothing wrong you can do with a revolver other than to be stupid with it. You can bang it around. Actually, it's totally fine. It's not going to go off on accident. You have to manually pull back the handle. Yes, you can do a long pull. Mine, actually, I've got a double action, so I can do a long pull, but fuck, that's hard. And you can see very clearly whether or not it's got bullets in it. So, I love it. It's nearly idiot proof. So,
like I said, just need to get over that hurdle. And once I do, I'll probably be like, "Who wants to go to the range with me?" Or "Who wants to go hunting?"
Would be ideal.
Yeah.
What would be ideal is if we could get Trenton out here.
Yes.
When Janelle's here,
that would all be wonderful.
Because Trenton's probably is way more experienced than we are.
Yes.
And of course, his grandfather was a gunsmith. So
what?
His brother teaches.
Yeah, his brother's a great teacher.
Well, yes, shit. That sounds like fun.
Actually, when we went out with them, that was just an absolute blast. I really want to do that again.
Yeah, and the best thing was we didn't go to a range. We went out to the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
That was so much better.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, my father-in-law, he has property out in Hamul, and you can hear everybody else out there shooting their guns on their property. And apparently, Steve did that too growing up. I was like, that's actually pretty cool, where you can just stay on your property and do it. And everybody's, they're very careful about it because they don't want a stray bullet to hit a neighbor.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's cool. Like in the summertime, you're always hearing a pop, 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 pop. And my father-in-law can kind of tell by just listening to the sound if they've switched guns or not.
Now, honestly, I would say probably the biggest problem with firearms in this country, well, there's two things. One, there's a very large culture of people who don't respect what it is. They get the gun, they think they're a badass. I mean, how many internet videos have we seen of some idiot in the ghetto rapping with a gun in his hand and accidentally shooting the camera?
Wait, real quick. Owen, I did see your post, and I have seen your pages on Instagram. Ishi has not yet. I will be showing them to him. Okay, sorry.
Owen,
continue.
Owen, it was the holidays. Do you think we had a spare moment to do fuck all? Seriously.
Anyway,
I'm just saying, it's it's the holidays. Holidays with 2 deaths.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That didn't make it easy. But anyway.
Actually, JW I saw was talking about how he found his dad's 50-year-old hunting rifle, and so that reminded me, if you feel up to it, I'll let you shoot my dad's gun. My dad's got a 44 Magnum.
Ooh.
Or it's now mine, actually, but it's my dad's Dirty Harry gun.
Yeah, was it the Mike Rocha
Yeah.
memorial
bang bang
hand cannon?
Yes. I love that, the Mike Rocha memorial bang bang. That's awesome.
It was his pride and joy, and I'm talking with my brother, and we're coming to the point where we're like, okay, we got to divvy up the guns, and he's like, I want this, and I'm like, okay, that's fine, and I want this, and we actually didn't fight, and I go, okay, the 44. He goes, you can have it. I'm like, you sure? He goes, yeah, I don't want it. I'm like, mine.
Now we need that thing in the living room on the wall in a glass case. That thing isn't work of art.
But one we can access.
Oh yeah, definitely one we could access. But yeah, have that in a glass case.
In case of punks break glass.
But I would say one of the problems in this country is we've got a large culture of people who don't respect firearms. And like I said, how many TikTok videos and whatever the service was that came before TikTok, where you had idiots in the ghetto rapping to their phones and the gun goes off. And then they still upload it because they think it's funny. It's like, you guys
or
are
they
idiots.
Were live streaming and they just decided not to take it down because they liked the hits.
So that's one part of the problem. The other part of the problem is that back in the day, when we were more rural, everybody grew up around these things. They knew how to use them. They knew how to respect them. They weren't a toy. They knew they were dangerous and what they could do. Mm-hmm. We don't have that anymore. It would be actually great if we actually taught like how to use a .22 rifle in schools, but that'll never happen.
That would be awesome. No, I wish they should do stuff like that. I really believe that they should do stuff like that.
I agree.
It would get kids to pay attention more to at least the Bill of Rights. Most kids don't even know what the fuck the First Amendment is. That's so sad. That's a whole nother show that the three of us can go off on the death of civics and education.
Oh yeah. Well, there used to be marksman clubs in high schools, apparently.
Mm-hmm. I think Brea still had one when I was there. The 2 seconds I was in that school.
Yeah, I would agree. Hitting things with an arrow is so much harder.
Yeah, it is, because there are days where the wind kicks up and it's like, I'm not good enough to shoot in this.
I only did archery once, and it was at the Del Mar Fair, and I was so bad, and my mom was mocking me the whole time. She's like, Jesus, Janelle, we would never be able to eat in the country if you were like, shut up.
Oh my God.
Well, this wasn't even that. This was like 6 or 7 years ago. And I was like, ooh, archery. I've always wanted to try it. So I paid for it. My mom's watching Chris. And, he's in a stroller. He doesn't care what's going on. And she just trolled me and mocked me. And it was very good natured. I was like, oh my God, I suck that bad. And yes, I suck that bad.
Well, did you at least hit the target?
I hit one target. Something that the instructor noticed is that I am right-handed dominant, but looking down sights with the eyes open, I'm apparently left-eyed dominant.
Mm.
And so she said that that's something that was throwing me off, and I would have never known
Sleepo,
that.
Owen.
So, oh, is he going?
Yeah.
Bye, Owen. So, yeah, I thought that was really weird, but I guess that's a thing. It was an archery club that's been around forever in El Cajon, and they had been coming to the fair for years, and I had no clue. I thought it was a brand new booth. So, but yes, I hit one balloon. The others just kind of went on the floor. It was so bad.
Wait, don't feel bad. I mean, archery is tough. Also, did their bows have like a lot of crap on them, or was it just, bow with the notch for you to put the arrow in?
Bow with a notch. And one thing that
Okay.
did throw me off is the tension, because she kept saying pull back more, and it always felt like I was going to break the bow. And I guess that's something that a lot of people feel the first time they're learning, is they feel
Mm-hmm.
they can't pull any further because they're going to break the bow. And so I wouldn't pull it back all the way because I thought I was going to break it, not realizing, they're meant to be very flexible even though they don't look like it.
Was this a compound or a recurve?
Recurve.
Recurve. Okay.
Yeah, they didn't
Yeah.
have compounds there.
Yeah, the first few times you pull it back, I remember having the same thing, and until I was told, no, your fingers have to touch your ear, basically, and that's
Yeah.
how far back you're going. And I'm like, are you sure? They're like, no. And my instructor actually took the bow out of my hand and pulled it back and showed me. It's like, look, you're not going to break it. So
Yeah, it's a weird feeling. Like I said, I swore I did not want to pay for that bow if I broke it. So yeah, I mean it was fun. I felt like Green Arrow for about, 30 seconds before I just started bombing.
But you didn't have like fantasies of being Eowyn?
No, I liked Green Arrow and Hawkeye. I guess I was not the typical girl in the fact that I wanted to be like Eowyn. I was like, no, I want to be like superhero. Forget elves.
yeah, be a superhero.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
doesn't help I had a hard time getting into the Fellowship was good, but when I got to Two Towers, I couldn't finish it because the first half of the book is Sam crying, they're eating lambdas bread, and they're hiking. And
Yep.
Steve was just like, get through it and get to Helm's Deep. And I was like, fuck this shit. I cannot. It's that dry.
My mom and I took the Lord of the Rings camping, and we would read it back and forth. And we got through Fellowship perfectly fine. And then we got to Two Towers, and yeah, just that slog. I'm like, Mom, nothing's happening. And my mother reads the entire Tolkien books every year, starting on Bilbo's birthday in September. So she always reads every single one. And so I'm like, Mom, is something going to happen? This is boring. And she goes, I know it's boring, but it's important. Just get through it. Once you get to this point, you'll be fine. And she's like she actually like marked it on the book. You'll be fine. And I'm like, okay, damn it, I'm gonna do it. This is the mountain I'm conquering. And we wound up going home, and we hadn't finished Two Towers yet. It took me a month and a half to get through that damn book, and I'm a person who is reading 400-page books a day. So it's like,
Yeah,
oh dear
that's
God,
a
it's
rough
pain.
book. And honestly, like when I was reading it, the latest A Song of Ice and Fire book came out, and I was like, ooh, excuse to drop the book and go read
Yeah.
some George R. R. Martin instead, where there's sex and violence. I think now that I'm older, because Steve gave it to me to read when I was like 23, 24. I don't think I had the patience for it, whereas I think today I probably would have the patience for it.
Same here, JC.
No, I'm glad that I read through them all, but the thought had come to me to start to try them again, and I stared at Two Towers. I'm like, I'm not going through that again.
Well,
So no.
what's sad is I would love for Chris to read that series, but Harry Potter killed anything magical and fantasy for him because it was
Really?
just so. This is not his words, but the best way I can describe it with his words would be he thought it was asinine. And so he stopped reading the Chronicles of Narnia, which really blew my mind because he really liked it. And he won't touch Lord of the Rings. He thinks fantasy is childish and what's the word I'm looking for?
Inconsequential?
Yes, thank you. He would prefer to read sci-fi or nonfiction, mostly nonfiction science. But yeah, something about Harry Potter just made my child up and decide magic and fantasy was shit. So thanks, J.K. Rowling, for ruining that for my son. Appreciate it.
Fantasy's gay.
He might like Earthsea.
He what?
Earthsea, Wizard of Earthsea. He might like that.
Okay, well, you know what? He likes Doctor Strange, and that's magic. So I'm hoping maybe we can get him to come back.
Well, Earthsea, okay, it's been forever since I've read the trilogy, but I just remember there being very little, actual magic, and what there was, it was more like manipulating the forces of nature, and it did come with a price, and it wasn't easy. In fact, Ged, I think is his name, had to he had to sacrifice a lot. There's an entire book where he doesn't do a single thing of magic at all. He figures things out through science and logic.
Okay, now see that's more up Chris's alley, for real. Like he really does. He's like a little Vulcan, which I appreciate. But what is the other book series that's really awesome that I'm hoping maybe? Oh, Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time, except for like the last few books, because there's also a price to pay, and they use elemental magic.
Cool.
I don't know if you guys read the Wheel of Time series.
I attempted to, and okay, it's purely me, nothing against the series, but considering I would watch my mom play Dungeons and Dragons when I was 7 years old, I grew up with that type of adventures. So when the first book started, it's like, I've done this before. Why am I reading about it? I've done it like 10 times. So it just, I couldn't get past the first episode, the first chapter.
I don't know why I got into. Oh, Steve was so into it, and I actually thought it was a fresh take on some of the older stories. But as it went on, it kind of it's like he lost his place and where he was going. Like he forgot what he was originally writing, kind of like George R.R. Martin. So,
kinda, yeah.
yeah.
It's like the story ran away with him, and it's like, dude, go back to your notes.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened with Robert Jordan. He lost his way. Like that's why we have 12 books in the series.
Mm-hmm. And it still wasn't complete, really.
I was gonna say I don't know if Chris would like pulp fan. Actually, you know what? He might. That's actually a really good idea.
Yeah, pulp like Conan. Yeah, Conan's good.
Yeah, now Howard doesn't dick around. He gets right to the point.
Howard doesn't dick around. Solomon Kane. He might like Elric as well. I will continually sing the praises of Elric. So.
Oh, the story that the Witchers ripped off of, literally like word for word. I found out about that from Razor Fist.
I wouldn't call it word for word. Well, okay, I've never read the book, but just knowing the story, I would just say the dude really shouldn't pretend like he's never heard of Elric. Dude, it's right there. We see it.
He was the one that in Poland was in charge of translating Elric to Polish,
Oh
right?
god.
Oh, was he?
Yes, and that's why The Witcher is a total ripoff. And don't get me wrong, I actually like The Witcher. I want to read the Elric stories though after listening to Razor Fist talk about it.
Okay, you on Razor's recommendation, and I will never disagree with him. The graphic novels that have been coming out recently, as the new adaptation of the stories, they are absolutely gorgeous. The artwork is just dropping. I can't even talk that it's so beautiful.
Jaw dropping.
Yes, there's 3 out so far, and they're coming out with a 4th. It was supposed to be out this month, but Amazon tells me it won't arrive till February, which makes me upset. But the artwork is gorgeous. It's a BD. It's like a French comic, and how gorgeous the art is, and the writing at the adaptation is true to Moorcock's stories.
Nice.
So highly recommend those if graphic storytelling is better. Otherwise, the novels are wonderful, and the writing is very Grimm's fairy tale, actually.
I love Grimm's fairy tales because they don't have happy endings.
Yeah. No, it's no nonsense, but at the same time, it's a little poetic. So it just pulls you through and only tells you what you need to know at that exact moment. So there's no fluff, no wasted time reading long drawn out descriptions, or painting scenes that mean nothing. Ultimately, you don't get any of that. So.
Okay. Honestly, I think if I say that Kat and Ishi recommend the book, that'll probably be a bonus. So just to let you guys know, my son loves Kat and Ishi, and if I say they like something, he'll usually go check it out.
Really?
Yes, actually, he looks up to both of you. I think it's because you don't treat him like a kid, you treat him like an adult, which is, I mean, you saw Chris and his personality. I mean, that's how he is. You don't treat him like a little kid. You treat him like an adult, and you actually have adult conversations with him. He doesn't have patience for children's conversations. He sometimes comes home and is like, oh my God, they were talking about dragons at school again. Dragons are fake. Why are they obsessed with dragons? And I'm just like, oh God.
Well, your son is awesome in that he's aware. No, he's aware of his surroundings, and he pays attention, and he thinks critically. He doesn't just take in and digest what he's spoon-fed. He actually thinks critically about the world that's around him. And I swear that's because he has you and Steve as parents, you taught him to do that.
Probably. I mean, we don't filter very much. We do filter when it's necessary, but we talk about real world stuff and we don't hide it from him. And just we talk to him like an adult, not because we were trying to force him to grow up, but we noticed that kid conversation never worked with them. He always wanted to just have an adult conversation, which I know blows the mind of a lot of adults that come around him. They're just like, you sure your kid's just 11? But speaking of so you're saying that the Elric graphic novels look like French comic, because I think that's some of the best graphic novels out there. And I actually somebody had mentioned French comics for Chris, and I was thinking Valerian. I like the Valerian and Lorelei series. I don't know if you guys read those. And also
I've never read it.
I've seen it, but I haven't read it yet.
They're fun. They really are. I highly recommend it. You can see where the guy that did The Fifth Element and then later on did Valerian.
Yeah.
And by the way, I don't hate that movie like a lot of people did. I think because I knew that Fifth Element was inspired by the same story, so I just went in as this guy was a Valerian fanboy. But yeah, Valerian is good. You should read that. And I've read Barbarella. I will not let my son read Barbarella yet. Okay. But then obviously Yorodowski and Mobius doing the Incal series.
Yes.
Yeah, Mobius doing anything, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Like you've seen the artwork, the storyboards he did for when Yorodowski was going to do Dune, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
God, that was some amazing artwork. Especially the guild ships. They were all so colorful.
I think those were done by Chris Foss, but I could be wrong.
Oh, he didn't do the guild ships? Because I liked the way the guild ships were. They were like peacocking.
Okay, let me see if I can't get an image. Yeah, I see the ships. They actually look very much like Chris Foss paintings.
Okay.
But,
well, maybe was he the one, then did Mobius do at least I know he did the character designs.
Yeah, he did all the character designs.
Yeah, Fade Routh actually looked like I would expect Fade Routh to be. And speaking of peacocking, that was a good one. Seeing Mick Jagger dressed up all flamboyantly.
Oh, is it going to be Mick Jagger?
Yeah, they were going to cast Mick Jagger as Fade Routh. That actually would have been really cool to see. I think that's why David Lynch stuck with the musician and went after Sting.
Okay, let's see. Let me put one of these up.
Okay, which one are you going to
And by the way, if you want a Dinner of the People shirt, link in the description.
I love those shirts. I know I couldn't get away with wearing that here in California. The Karens would come out of the woodwork if I walked down the street.
Oh, you'd get lynched.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. Those are Mobius's drawings.
Look at the Baron.
I love the Baron.
And you can see Salvador Dali as the Emperor right behind him.
Yes.
Yeah, all the starship designs are done by Chris Foss.
Okay.
Who's a British designer who did a lot of stuff for heavy metal. I don't know. I think that's the best. He did a ton of sci-fi book covers in the 70s and 80s. And he had a very distinct style.
Was he up there with like Sid Mead as one of the prolific sci-fi designers of the 70s?
Oh, yeah. In fact, if you've seen some old sci-fi covers from either the 70s or 80s, you've seen a Chris Foss starship.
Okay. Well, now I'm going to look up this guy after the show.
So, anyway.
His work is gorgeous.
I love that Baron. I mean, that was it was Orson Welles was supposed to be the Baron.
Oh.
That would have worked.
Orson Welles didn't want to do the movie because he wanted his specialized chef to be with him. So Yorodowski said, I will pay for your chef to be part of the crew so you can have your specialized meals, because basically he wanted him to stay fat. So, yeah, I mean, the cast that he was picking out was pretty spectacular, but it fell through.
Well, he did something really stupid.
What did he do?
Well, he had Herbert on board, and then he said, yeah, and you know what? Paul should fuck his mom.
I forgot about that, which he actually did in the Meta Barons, because the Meta Barons was supposed to be based off the Atreides.
Yes.
Yes, like, and that was so disgusting.
It's like, he's a real rebel. He'll do his mom.
Like, what?
Jodorowsky? No, please. No, just no.
He also was going to have Paul die at the end, and his spirit was going to infect everybody on Arrakis, and they were all going to become Paul at the end, like a hive mind.
Yeah, he does a lot of LSD.
It's pretty obvious. I mean, there was one movie where a guy was sitting on a throne and was shitting out gold turds, and I can't remember which movie it was. But he's the one that did El Topo, right?
Yeah. And was it Holy Mountain?
Holy Mountain's the one where I think they shit out gold turds.
That is a bizarre and hilarious film.
I actually wouldn't mind microdosing and watching his films. I think I would have a blast.
Yeah, Holy Mountain's hilarious. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's not supposed to. Although the twist at the end is perfect, and I can't ruin it. Otherwise, it ruins the film.
Okay. Yeah, I've wanted to see his films. I have never seen them. I've only seen clips of them. I do know that his son, who was in El Topo, was also supposed to play Paul in his movie, and he psychologically scarred his son because he made him learn martial arts and sword fighting, and he had to read all these philosophy books, and he was basically telling his son, "You must become Paul Atreides."
Oh, God.
Really?
Yeah, and his son admitted that he was psychologically damaged from the pressure of the movie Dune because his father could have no less than perfection. His son had to become the embodiment of Paul Atreides. If you guys ever
Oh
get the
my.
chance, watch Yorodowski's Dune. That is a fascinating documentary on the movie. And I highly recommend it. If you have to rent it and just watch it, because I rented it and I watched it, and it was fascinating.
I know Amazon will occasionally have it offered, so.
Apparently, it says that Chris Foss designed the Nostromo for Alien.
Oh, well, shit, that's awesome.
And
Wait,
I'm looking at
that makes total sense because everybody but Yorodowski went and made Alien.
Yeah.
Everybody except Yorodowski.
Yeah, Mobius was involved in Aliens. So was
Geiger, or I'm sorry,
Yep.
Yeager.
Yep.
Yeah.
Both of them were involved.
Dan O'Bannon.
In fact, there's even a picture here of the original version of the. I'm looking at this website, Den of Geek. There's a picture of the Nostromo with the original paint job, and it's got all the coloration and plumage. It's like brightly colored.
Ooh,
And
all
apparently,
yellow.
yeah, and I guess they repainted it because it was too gaudy and garish.
I actually like the idea of the yellow-black checkers on the ships, so you can see them. I don't
Which
know why
is
I
what's
thought that was
on
really
the
cool.
Nostromo here in this picture.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look this up. What's the name of the website?
Oh, it was on Den of Geek, and I would just
Okay,
put comma Chris Foss. That's
okay.
Foss. Oh, here's his website. I'll just share this. I've got a book by him actually, of just his body of work.
I couldn't remember if we still had that or not.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
it's right
good.
over there
Oh, perfect.
in my art book collection.
Oh, okay, so I see that, yeah, the Nostromo is like a lime green or yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really cool.
I wouldn't mind doing some podcasts on those kinds of films, just the history on them and some of the weird backgrounds on them.
That would be a fun podcast because when I love a movie, I will just insanely research it and delve into it because I like to know about the bare bones, how it all started. Like I did that for the first two Terminator movies, which was another one that I thought was really interesting, though it was kind of ripped off from, I think it was Harlan Ellison.
Sorta, yeah.
Yeah, there was two different, one from the Outer Limits and one from the Twilight Zone.
Devil with a Glass Hand and
Soldier. And they were actually both Outer Limits episodes.
Ricky Joya asks you, Janelle, have you seen Luc Besson's
Luc Besson.
Luc Besson, sorry. Adele Bonksek?
No, I haven't, but I like his movies, so I will have to check that one out. Is it another whimsical sci-fi film? Because I really do like his whimsical sci-fi.
Looks
Adele Balzac?
It looks Victorian.
Ooh, okay, wait. I like the Victorian era too, as we've
Oh,
discussed before on the
it was a
show.
graphic novel, it appears. And I guess Besson did a movie version? Oh, okay. Now this is some really nice art that the audience can't see.
Yeah.
Oh, is it animated?
Oh, nice.
Okay, I can't pronounce French, but it's Les Aventures Extraordinaires de Adele Blanc-Sec.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, yeah, this looks good. I'm sorry if anybody who speaks French, I just totally butchered that.
Yeah, how would you say it, Kat?
I'm gonna butcher it just as
Yeah,
badly.
but you took French. You can understand it, right?
I can, but I'm the girl who eked out a B on her final in French class, not because I was able to speak the language well, but because I did not use English. And I did answer all of my teacher's questions, but my answers were a mishmash of French, Spanish, German, and the few little words of Russian I knew. But I did not use English, so she gave me a mercy B. She was laughing too. I'm like, I don't know what I'm saying. She goes, no, you're actually answering my questions very well. It's like, okay.
Well, what's cool about that though is you seem to have at least some of a grasp on the Romance languages. That's pretty cool.
That's true.
Okay, so I've brought this image up since we were talking about the Terminator, and it is fascinating to see this. Let's see if we got a full screen. Yes. You can see the beginning of Terminator here. Watch. This is Soldier from The Outer Limits.
Fantastic episode, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at that. Does that look familiar?
All they're missing is the hunter killers from in the sky.
Yeah. I mean, it's very similar imagery. And we get the pan down. Now, granted, the costuming in Terminator was much better than this.
Not so Buck Rogers.
I will admit, though, I'm a sucker for that 1930s Buck Rogers aesthetic. I don't know why.
You know, this was all cobbled together with whatever they could find backstage since Outer Limits had no budget.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this was a good episode, and he does go back in time. But of course, he comes from a world where cats are psychic, and he tries to talk to the cat.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
But let's see if I can jump it ahead some. Again, we see this shot in Terminator. But again, not such a swell helmet.
No.
I was always fascinated they could self-light their cigarettes.
Actually, that was pretty clever.
Now, they tried to get that to work in Escape from New York and couldn't.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they wanted to do the same thing. They self-lighting cigarettes.
Wasn't able to.
Oh, is that why instead they put the cigarette, or they put the matches in the jar that you could strike it on the side instead?
Yeah.
Speaking of, I forgot to tell you guys, for Christmas, I realized how much my husband loves me. He got the greatest of John Carpenter's in 4K. So I got Escape from New York, The Fog.
Oh, great.
Now I'm brain farting on the other two. It was 4 of them. And I was so excited. And I'm just waiting for a night that we can ship Chris off to a friend's house and Steve and I can just watch them uninterrupted.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah. On the next show, I'll remember, or I'll send you guys a picture. I'm really excited about it.
Totally. Actually, we cuddled up not last night, but the previous night, and watched Assault on Precinct 13.
I love that movie. That movie is so brilliant, and it's so underrated.
Yeah, I mean, the amazing thing is I'm surprised that wasn't the film that made him. Seriously, it was Halloween, not...
I agree. I completely agree. I couldn't believe that movie did not make him a hit director before Halloween, because that movie is brilliant.
It is.
Okay, Big Trouble in Little China, yes, is one of them. Thank you.
Nice.
But the story behind Assault on Precinct 13 was, it was the time of 70s grindhouse, and they said, here, these ultra-violent, bloody, crime cop flicks are big right now. Here's some money, make one. And he came back with a good film.
I know that it freaked a lot of people out because they showed a 8-year-old girl getting shot through the chest point blank, and nobody had ever done that before. I mean, I know they were talking about how the what is it? The people that do the ratings board, they were worried that it wouldn't pass muster because it was so violent and so unexpected. But in my opinion, I think that's the most important scene in the movie, because of that event, everything goes downhill.
Yeah, not only that, it's like, okay, these guys are willing to just kill an 8-year-old in cold blood. What are they going to do with the rest of the cast?
Oh yeah. What was great too is like you can't hate the father for going on the revenge spree.
Mm-mm.
He's in shock the whole time. And just the fact that a hardened criminal going to death row is totally fine with defending him, made the movie so much better. And all he wanted was a fucking cigarette. Oh, you got a cigarette? That's what I loved about that character. Everything was can't say it again. Ishii, help me. You said it last time.
Inconsequential.
Thank you, Jesus. I'm sorry, guys, for my stumbling over words tonight. He just wanted a cigarette, and the hot chick gave him one. That's what I liked about that movie too.
Oh, she was great.
Yeah, she was not a damsel in distress. She was there shooting guns. She was there creating blockades, and she did not shy away. And that was
she was
fantastic.
Totally believable.
Yes.
She didn't run around and do kung fu kicks and kill everyone, and that reaction when she gets shot, that is a real reaction, actually. That can happen.
Or people just turn off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a fantastic film, and people, if you have not seen it, go watch it.
But don't look at the remake. That's
no,
that is
pretend
an insult.
That didn't exist. Although it really is weird watching it because they do those pans of the neighborhoods, and I'm like, wow, this is kind of making me homesick.
Yeah, what was sad about it is we're watching Assault on Precinct 13, and they're talking about, yeah, this is in one of LA's biggest slums. And like,
this is a slum.
I remember when slums weren't so awful, when that was a slum.
And this was nice.
It's like, that's a slum? Oh, that's a nice neighborhood in LA now.
Yeah.
Oh, are you talking about Precinct, the original, where it looked like it was supposed to be what was considered the ghetto?
Yeah.
It just looked like an older neighborhood to me, but I guess that's just because I didn't grow up in Inglewood or any place like that, but I mean, I ran around North Park and Hillcrest. So
it was just, some boarded up buildings, some trash on the ground, some empty lots. It didn't look like some sort of third world shanty town.
Yeah. Like, I remember when this place looked like that.
It is kind of depressing watching movies from the 80s and 90s. And I remember when LA looked like that.
When LA actually looked kind of cool for a little while. In the 80s, I thought was when LA looked the best.
Yeah.
But I have a bias. I think the 80s is the greatest decade of the 20th century. And I don't think it can ever be replicated again. But that's, like I said, that's just me.
Do you see JC's comment?
Budget was $30.
We need, any movie you've got with a Carpenter commentary, listen to it. They're always fun.
Well, the one I've always wanted. Oh, sorry, Kat, go ahead.
I was gonna say anytime it's him and Kurt Russell is hysterical because they usually just play off each other having fun. There was one where
what was the one drunk. One was it Big Trouble in Little China where they got progressively more and more drunk?
I think it was, yeah.
I thought it was Escape from New York.
Maybe it is Escape from New York. I just remember that they kept bringing up Captain Ron.
Yeah.
And at one point
movie.
during the scene where he's fighting the wrestler in the pit, and you finally get to see his tattoo with the cobra coming out of his pants.
I always loved that.
He said, after this movie, I got a lot of fan letters from women. Some of them pretty nice. And he goes, and they're just talking about them. I got some pictures too, even some of them not that bad. And John goes, Carpenter goes, you still got any of those?
I've always wanted to listen to his commentary on In the Mouth of Madness. I want to see what really inspired that, because I think that's one of the best Lovecraftian films ever made, and I think it's also a very underrated John Carpenter film.
Yeah, well,
indeed.
Most of his films are, but yeah.
You know what, that kills me. You know how many people I've talked to are like, I don't know who that is, and I don't know what these movies are, and my jaw just hits the floor. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, you haven't even seen Big Trouble in Little China? I think that, or yeah, I even ask, have you seen Halloween? And that's usually the one that they've seen. That's it.
But they don't know that it's Carpenter, and they usually lump it in with all the other Michael Myers movies, just like everybody lumps, all the Jason films together.
Yep, you know what's sad is all those movies had so many sequels that just really diluted the characters. I think the first two movies in the Friday the 13th franchise were brilliant. The first two Halloween movies were brilliant. The first and the third Nightmare on Elm Street movie was brilliant. The second one is just fucking weird.
Strangely enough, I haven't seen any of the Elm Street films, or at least not in...
Or you mean the Halloween films?
No, she just mentioned Elm Street too.
Oh, okay.
But no, I have seen Halloween, the first Halloween. I've seen part of the second Halloween. I've seen parts of the third Halloween, which I want to see all of.
Actually, yeah, you know what? The third Halloween is also very good. But knowing the history behind it and why people rejected it really kind of sucks.
Yeah, I kind of wish that they'd stayed with the idea of it being an anthology.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You've seen all the Nightmare on Elm Street ones though, right?
No, actually, I've seen the first and third one, and the new Nightmare. I never really latched onto that series, although I thought the Dream Warriors was pretty cool.
The Dream Warriors is the best one. I was going to say, then you've seen all the ones you need to see. I've seen all of them. And the first one is absolutely wonderful, but the third one is better than the first one. And then A New Nightmare was a fantastic way to refresh the franchise.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, that movie actually still gives me the piss willies. I know that sounds so silly, but the concept Wes Craven came up for that is like, I have to constantly keep like churning these movies out or the demons are going to break free. It's like, oh right. God, what?
We were talking that, really what would have worked for the new Matrix film is to do something like that.
Didn't they kind of try to do that though? I mean,
but not really,
I know kind of about the movie. I refuse to see it because I heard from everybody who's seen it.
It's
it
apparently
sucks.
horseshit. Yeah.
Which
no, it would be funny if Keanu played himself and you don't know if he's losing his mind or not.
See, I think he should have just played himself as John Wick in The Matrix, and it would have been great. Kill people with digital pencils and shit. Fantastic. The movie would have been great. Which it really breaks my heart that movie sucks because we just introduced Chris to The Matrix. Yeah, he's switching off. He'll watch a half an hour of The Matrix, then he'll watch a half an hour of Doctor Strange. And he really likes those. He really likes The Matrix, though. And I'm not surprised.
You'd like, well, I don't know. That might be a bit much. I was going to say, do you think you'd like Dark City or Inception?
He would probably like Inception. I think he needs to be a little older to understand Dark City, or else it might be a little boring for him.
Dark City is one of those films that should have gotten more attention. And it's like, oh, yeah, The Matrix robbed this blind.
Oh, The Matrix robbed all of Philip K. Dick's ideas, too. Yeah. The Keymasters from the Adjustment Bureau. And the whole short story of Ubik is basically interred humans used as like a battery or a computer.
Yeah, it's apparently, they don't have an original bone in their body.
No, they don't. Except for Sense8, but I don't know. That was probably ripped off something else too. Did you guys ever watch Sense8?
No.
Okay, don't. The first 2 episodes were awesome. I thought it was going to be cool. And then it just turned into a, how do I want to explain it? A self-insert of themselves being the hero.
Oh.
Why am I not surprised they made Niobe gay and they killed Morpheus off screen? Oh, I did hear that Trinity is the new one at the end of the movie. She gets the same powers as Neo.
Yeah.
Because whammon.
Because whammon.
Well, they also have a blue-haired mental illness haircut chick in the film too.
Mm.
And they even made the Merovingian. They destroyed that character too. He has been stripped of all his power, and now he's running around looking like the guy that ran the train, the conductor.
Oh, okay.
They've basically kind of turned him into the conductor. He's like this dirty, matted, raving lunatic that wants revenge on Neo because when the Matrix reset, he lost all his power and privilege.
That's lame.
I was like, why the... Oh, and they deleted Persephone, apparently.
Why? Oh, because she's hot. That's why.
Yeah, because it's Monica Bellucci, and even though she's, what, in her 50s now, she's still smoking hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the syndrome of she's hotter than me, and we can't have that, so we have to murder her.
Pretty much. And I can't believe they made Niobe gay when it was obvious she was still very in love with Morpheus in Reloaded and Revolutions.
Mm-hmm.
Consistency? Ah, fuck it. Who cares? No one's gonna remember.
No, it's the Wachowskis. What do you expect?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they cast Neil Patrick Harris as the analyst, which I guess is a new form of the architect. Just Jesus fucking Christ, guys, come on. You should have just let it die. We were okay with Revolutions. It ended great. I love the fact that Agent Smith became a virus. Oh yeah, they also replaced Hugo Weaving with somebody else too. So Agent Smith wasn't played by Hugo Weaving, which I'm like, you can't do that.
No, you can't. You can. Why not like come up with a different program? You know, why do you have to have it be Smith?
Well, yeah, that's my whole thing. Like, 2 very good actors made those roles iconic. So to replace them with younger versions is just mind-blowing. Yeah, make a new character. Don't recast. That's fucking dumb. I could go off on the Matrix all night too.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you on that.
Ugh.
Yeah. I just realized it's 8:30, which means it's 9:30 where you guys are. We should probably call it a night. I've kept you guys up.
No, that's okay. We're having fun.
Yes, we are. But I forget right now my state is ass backwards and we still do daylight savings.
It's all good. So we wanted to chat.
Yeah, we needed some fun. We really did.
Well, I'm glad tonight could be fun. I'm enjoying the fact that we've bounced all over the place tonight.
Same. This has been absolutely wonderful, just having, pretty much no framework, just whatever the hell we wanted to talk about.
Well, JC, if the Wachowskis don't want women prettier than them in the movie, we're up shit creek. I mean, look, the Wachowskis look like somebody tried to put a fire out with a screwdriver.
I love it. Oh, that's good.
Seriously. I mean, they were passable men, but they're hideous women.
Actually, I look at them and I keep thinking of the line in the movie Murder by Death. It's the Poirot character.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, he says, as a man, you're merely passable, but as a woman, you are a dog. And that's what I see when yeah, passable until they open their mouths. It's like, oh my God. But anyway, if you've heard them talk.
I don't know, though. It's like you see this plastic surgery face and head on this very square, mannish body.
Which one, Lana or Lily? Because Lana's had more surgery.
Lana.
I haven't seen Lily, or at least not recently.
Lily hasn't done anything except grow the hair out and put on some false eyelashes.
Really?
I honestly, this is just my humble opinion. I don't think Lily wanted to change, but was pressured to, so it could be the Wachowski sisters.
I believe it.
Because this person was happily married and then all of a sudden comes out as trans after their brother, now sister, has made a name for themselves as Lana Wachowski. I mean, I could be wrong.
No. The thing is it's very clear that these two are so damn woke. If it's woke, they'll do it.
That's a shame. I mean, I'd read articles where there had been rumors on set that Lana Wachowski, before transition, was coming on the set with women's clothes and stuff, but I guess nobody cared because it was Hollywood.
Well, I probably thought, well, at least they're not screwing kids.
Yeah, that's true.
As long as they're not screwing kids, I'm okay with it.
Hey, weren't the Wachowskis the ones that did V for Vendetta?
Well, they paid for it.
Oh, okay. So they didn't really do it because
No.
It doesn't seem like their other films.
They put their name on it, but they didn't write or direct it.
You're shitting me. Well, no wonder it was actually good. And of course, Hugo Weaving was V, so.
Mm-hmm. And actually him doing that film, raised my respect for him, because we are in an age where actors are fucking prima donnas, and the fact that he was willing to just be a voice, be an actor in the room, or be a body in the room and be a voice, but you never saw his face. And that's what made the film, where, not that I've watched it, but I've seen scenes where you have like The Mandalorian, where the dude is like, no, I want my face on screen. It's like, that ruins the point of your character. It's like, no, I want my face on the screen. It's like,
James Purefoy turned down the role when he found out he had to wear a mask the whole time, so they gave it to Hugo Weaving, and he nailed it. I don't think James Purefoy would have done as great of a job, honestly.
No, not at all. Not at all.
And yes, I have seen Joe Rogan's Bruce Jenner bit, and it's fucking hysterical, where the Kardashians are actually succubi, and they sucked all the testosterone out of him, and that's why he transitioned.
Wow.
It's on Netflix, and it's fucking hysterical. Steve and I were in hysterics watching it. It's the end of the whole show, so he saved the best bit for last. And I highly recommend it.
If you go back through all the old Mystery Science Theaters when Mike was the host, you start to realize there are a lot of references to Bruce Jenner that are a lot funnier now.
Yeah.
They were funny at the time, but they're a lot funnier now. Like, you better drop that Bruce Jenner look. That doesn't end well.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, that took new meaning.
Oh, shit.
It's like, wow, you have just made that joke timeless.
Yes.
Oh, God.
All right, let's call it a night.
Sounds good.
Once again, one more time, everyone. Links in the description for a Dinner of the People t-shirt.
Yes.
Good night, everyone.
Night.
Night.